As promised, we will end with some amazing music. As you grab your coffee and come back. So this session is an open session, correct? Right? Yeah. Session is an open session, so you can take videos, you can take pictures, not a problem. And before we kind of like sort of close off with some music, I wanted to get also Rami and Justina to come up and share a little with us about their pathway and kind of like their journey of discovery of the power of music and politics. Yeah, come. Okay. Join me.
Let's go.
Yeah, yay!
Thanks.
You're mic'd up? Okay,
Yep.
We can do the cool thing and sit at the edge of the stage. Like, I can pretend to be a rock star.
That's good.
Great.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Great.
Great?
Yeah.
Yes.
2 days of talking about internet, crisis, freedom, data, AI, governance, policy. Woo-woo. How are you doing?
Very good.
Very good.
I met a lot of great people. It was fun.
Yeah?
Yes.
Cool. I'm really glad to hear that. When we spoke before in preparation for this, I asked you a question to kind of like share a little bit about your journey. Like, how did music become political for you? And I loved, the stories that you were sharing. So, do you want to?
Yep.
Yeah.
In Iran, after the revolution, everything is political. Especially when you're a woman, your existence is political. From the head to the toes, it's political. And when you are not with the government, you're political and you're a criminal person. When you cross the rules, any rules that the government made for you, you are a criminal and your issue is a political. So you can run away from that. And when I remembered when I was a teenage, I had so many concerns about my situation, about my gender, why I cannot do something that the boys can do. And I always have the questions about that. And I had a lot of limitation as a woman in my society, in my culture. And so because of that, when I found the music and when I realized that I have a talent to write the lyrics and in music, of course, and so I started to write my feelings, my angers as a poems, as a text, rap text. So, and it made me feel good. Yeah. So after that, I keep it continue because I've never ever thought I can become a singer, because as I told you that singing for women is illegal in Iran. But now I'm here and yeah, I'm a singer now.
and a pretty freaking amazing one at that, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I think what you're saying about sometimes your mere existence as a woman is itself a political act in some contexts, just strikes so powerfully also for, I'm sure, not just me, but many of us. Thanks a lot. And Rami, how did you sort of, found the power in music?
I just started by luck at the age of 17 to play guitar. And I wish that parents in Egypt will encourage the kids to play more music. I hope this will grow in our culture. But luckily I did at the age of 17. I fell in love with playing the guitar. I was doing just regular pop songs to give it to other people to sing it as just a songwriter. And because at that age, until the age of 20, from 17 to 20, I was still trapped and victimized by like the propaganda, the art propaganda for the government, and there was no chance for political art to have access to that. Especially, I was living in Mansoura, which is the third biggest city. So people in Cairo and Alexandria had some access to political art, but not in my city. And we also lacked so much the a kind of culture venues where you can go and see some kind of alternative music and alternative art. And around the same age, there was a culture venue that opened there, and I could start to see some political poets. And the first time in my life to read political poetry, and also that they started to show me like Ahmed Fuad Negm, who's one of the biggest poets in our region, and I started to understand the power of the words, and that words can have meaning and can have impact. And in the same time, I started to listen more and more to rock music, and because in our culture rock music wasn't so popular also in my city, because the government doesn't like this kind of music. So, and I was raised up as like an angry teenager because of all the violence in our society, and rock music made me be able to control my anger. And then with the political poetry, these got mixed together, and then I started to do my political art from the age of 20 to 23, and the first human being that I could see changing because of this art I was doing was myself. I could gradually get rid of all the trapped problems from the society and the traditions, and I could free myself and understand what human rights means and what equality means. And then the revolution came, and it wrote the best part of the story, and I'm still doing that till now.
That's amazing. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
I was in a table.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I was in a table with an Egyptian person from Egypt, and they were like mind blown that you're here. So excited and super happy and feel really energized that, so thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks, Eric.
So we talked a little bit also about kind of the role of technology and the internet, it sort of came out in the conversation how that was also part of the journey. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So I don't know if you know that in Iran, internet is messy. And when internet came to my country, always governments wants to control it. And nowadays, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, most of the social medias and websites are banned and filtered. And the people have to use VPNs and have to buy the VPNs. And the speed of the internet is so low. So they pay for the VPNs and for the capacity of the internet, but it's so low, so they just waste the money. But they have to, because they need the internet. And every time we have a protest, the government easily shut down the internet, and the westward and the other countries know about that, but do nothing about that, and that's really sad. And we have the government really spend so much money to cyberies, to make a disinformation news, fake news, propaganda, because they want to divide people and ruin the unity that people wants to have to just end of this regime. But they spend so much money for the internet, for the cyberies, to not do that, to don't let them.
Yeah. But for me, kind of the beautiful thing about the internet, sort of growing up when internet first started coming, is there's always the thing that accompanies new technology when it's about us communicating with each other, is always this transgressive piece around art, music, and culture. I don't know do you remember Napster? Thank God. So, you know, one of the coolest things online was just being able to download and torrent music or listen to things that's like banned or not available in your own country. Did you find that there was some sort of like movement or space for you as well, even though it's of course so censored and the government knows the power of it? But kind of like, yeah, in your own musical experience, did you find connections or places to flow?
Yes. The only thing that I have right now as a musician and as a female musician, it's social medias and the internet. And people can find my works and find me in Instagram, YouTube. Of course, they are banned. And it's hard for them to reach me, reach my works and many things. But we have some issues, of course. I got so many attacks from the cyberies as an activist, political activist, as a feminist activist, and yeah, that's things.
And for you?
Yeah, for me, like internet is essential, like, and it's so necessary. I don't think I would this artist sitting here now wouldn't exist like without the internet. I was living under dictatorship and now in exile, so internet is extremely important. I was super lucky to enjoy the privilege of the extreme freedom of being a street artist in the middle of revolution, singing with hundreds of thousands of people, and feeling the power of people coming together. But when this was gone and taken away from the people, I had to depend on the internet, and when the music was forbidden in all kind of media controlled by the regime, and then the internet was still kind of working, especially in 2012, 13, 14, maybe 15, when things started to go south and change, when the platforms started to have certain agendas and have deals with the governments, and you have to pay a lot of money to push your music. So things are just getting harder and harder. And also recently, the government is much more aware of the power of the art online and how it can spread so much, and they can't control it anymore. So they started to have their troll farms and their internet right police that they can make campaigns against artists. Like, for example, when I released one of my songs and it was spreading so fast, there was an immediate attack from like thousands of people on all my platforms rating it negatively, so it can go down and I don't have reach. And anytime I release anything at the moment, I get this like cyber attack from them. So that's how the internet is like. It's extremely important still, but it's not that easy. That's why I hope that these people in this room and people like us can come up with some sort of like independent platforms where artists, where political art can be there and exist, and that they don't have control on that. That's extremely important. So please, people who understand this technology, do it.
Midis Tunes, co-founder of Numun, has started this thing called Midis Tunes, which I think you know about also, no?
That's good, that's good.
Just plugging there. Also, donors in the room, right? You know what to kind of like invest in autonomous infrastructure, just putting it out there.
That's good.
See, the support.
That's good.
Yeah, maybe we also need to start bringing cassette players and USB sticks. We go back to the analog and the low tech, lo-fi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess just kind of like a last question to the both of you. Considering what's happening right now, maybe we can begin with Egypt.
Okay.
It's been a while. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not been a while. It's still very fresh.
Yes, yes.
But we are here now, no? Like what is happening kind of like with the revolution, the ongoing, but very tiring, and people are still being
Okay.
persecuted. So how do you, where do you feel we can,
Okay.
hard question.
Yes, it is very hard. And these are kind of the questions. However you will answer it, you're not sure if it's the right answer or not, but I'll just share how I feel at the moment. So I am in exile now for 9 years. It's since 2014. I was forced to leave the country, and I came to Sweden. So situation in Egypt, I'm not sure even if I'm the right person that can speak exactly about what's happening in Egypt since I'm 9 years out. But of course, I'm connected and I can say how I see it from here. So the situation in Egypt is getting harder and harder. It's worse every day. People that don't believe in the revolution can easily just say like, why we did that, it was better before, and so on. Of course, this is not okay. We did the right thing and we should have done it. And if we go back in time, we will do it over and over. I believe that everyone that believes in the revolution will think the same. So things are just harder in all ways. The freedom of expression, freedom, the human rights, the equality, the economy, oppression, jail, the amount of political prisoners, is tens of thousands. It's insane. But for me, as an artist, as being in exile, despite the hardship of being in exile, when I think about the movement and the hope, because I still have some hope, and I know that this might be hard to hear from people living in Egypt, but I'm lucky because I'm in exile, so I don't live under this oppression every day. So maybe I have a space to breathe a little bit, that I can carry some of the hope that I came up with from Egypt. So maybe I have privilege, and I'm lucky in this, that I can be hopeful because of that. And but there is another important reason why I'm still hopeful. As an artist, since 2011, constantly until today, I'm still receiving messages on social media platforms from the younger generation. And that's the best part of the story. Even if we didn't achieve what we wanted in 2011, and we understood that the roots of corruption is insanely deep, and we will not be able to just change it fast. We need a lot of time, and we need to be so prepared in the coming wave and the wave after. But going back to the younger generation, to hear people at the age of 14 and 15 talking about politics, this is amazing. To hear people that are at the age of 14 and 15 talking about freedom, it's so beautiful. I started to talk about these things when I was 20, and the majority were like that. I have seeds in my heart that was planted in the Egyptian revolution, and many others are like this. If they killed people, if they arrested people, if they exiled people, if they oppressed people, but these seeds are growing, even if you're not so connected with it at some point, which is normal if you're exhausted, but it is growing. It's growing here. It's growing inside many other people. And all the younger generation that could see the power of the people in the videos on YouTube and social media, when you could see the people going out, and let alone the art, all the art that came. I'm not the only artist that was making political art from the Egyptian revolution or from the whole region. There's a lot of art archive that is still there. And even if they will kill all the artists, but the art is already made, and it's already there, and it's alive, and it will keep moving from a generation to another. Thanks. So like we have this peaceful force to fight back, which is the art. What we need is to keep it alive, to spread it more, and to do more of that. So this younger generation, and having this art, and having this hope, and these kind of messages, and I really believe in the power of art. They are so afraid of the artists and the art, and we just have to keep doing that. And it's a cycle, and they can't be on top forever, and we will have our turn. The main thing is that we just have to be prepared more than before.
Thank you so much. Oh my God.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks.
So your word, peaceful force, just hit me in the chest.
Oh, thanks.
It's great.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think it's kind of also really challenging in Iran right now because it's fresh. It's still happening, and Mahsa Amini was just so recent. So I'm wondering, how are you feeling also?
I think Rami told everything, and I agree with him. Everything, because we can relate. It's everything that happened in Egypt. It's the same in Iran, of course. Maybe some little differences. But I just want to tell you, everyone, that the revolution in Iran started, not just political, cultural. It started, and new generation won't come back, not at all. And it started. And any dictators can't stop your brain thinking. They can put you in jail, as you told. They can just shut your mouth, everything, but they cannot close your brain, close your mind, close your thinking. And That's the thing. That's the important things that you have as a human being that make your big revolutions. So they can stop the new generation, and the internet, of course, help us about the informations that new generation have now about their rights. So we just keep continue, and I don't know when, but it will happen. We will win, and the revolution started, and that's it.
Revolution started, no turning back. Thank you so very much once again, for kind of really giving us this energy of hope and...
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks so much. And we will end with some music from Justina. We are not allowed to sit down unless you have pain in your leg. I would encourage, let's end by dancing, because what is the revolution for?
And I want to ask you that make a noise for my man and my producer, of course, to help me about the plays, please. Jamin.
گم 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 مشتش رو دیوار موخون ردش رو گونم بودون بغزم و چشام خون پوسخند زد به باور نکردش من خواستم عوضشم ولی بد کردن بهم پس که حال من خوب میشه این سیاهی یا نور میده منم میخوام از ته دل بخندم که نوبت من میشه میخوام لذت این زندگی رو بفهمم چقدر سیلی بزنم به گونه هم که نشون ندم شکستم تا که نشون بدم دارم سعی میکنم ببخشم خوش نفهمم تا این قصه ایچه کاش قبول کنم که این زندگیه میگم پیچ و تاب داره با شکل بیلت چرا نسبت بهش دارم من سکینه چون افسرد روزای زیقیمو نشمرد از اول روز تا آخر شب میخوام بخوابم فکر کنم من مردم چک خوردم روزگار سیلیشو زد محکم زخ خوردم دیگه نمیشه تحمل که صبر شد یه صدایی میگه به بس کن زن آخه مکه نمیکنه هر موزلو نه 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 یه صدا تو مغزم مدام میگه بهم چرا شده اعتماد تکرار اشتباه دارم بیزار میشم از این اجتماع رم کن رفیق خنجر نزن به هم از پشت چی میدونم خسته و تحت فشاری یادت باشه هممون زخ خورده ایم همینا میخوام دشمن هم بشیم وحشی و بیزار خشمو خالی کنیم رو سر هم و حواسا پرت بشه از ظلم و بیداد دستاتو میگیرم یه روز وسط میدون شهر با هم دیگه داد میزنیم رها شدیم از زندون تن باید جزا تموم بشه این مرده باد و شیپور جنگ خیابونا پر بشه از رقص و صدا میخونه رنگ بسه که فرق نداره چون تهش فقط مرگه یا میمیرم تو قفس یا که آزاد میشه برده سخته باید باور کنیم آزادی حقه بذار کینه بشه تبدیل به یه ضربه تا بشکنیم این افکاری که یوم شدیم حبسش نذار خسته بشیم اصلا بیا تغییر بدیم مقصد مخالفم باش ولی بدون قشنگی به همین فرق است گم 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 مشتش رو دیوار موخون ردش رو گونم بودون بغزم و چشام خون پوسخند زد باور نکردش من خواستم عوضشم ولی بد کردن بهم گم 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 مشتش رو دیوار موخون ردش رو گونم بودون بغزم و چشام خون پوسخند زد به باور نکردش من خواستم عوضشم ولی بد کردم بهم نمیشه تلخ میشم نمیشه شیرینم منم مثل تو یه تن که یه روزی میمیرم کلامتو خوب بسنج کینه ها رو میچینن نگران من نباش اما به دل میگیرم نمیشه تلخ میشم نمیشه شیرینم منم مثل تو یه تن که یه روزی میمیرم کلامتو خوب بسنج کینه ها رو میچینن نگران من نباش اما به دل میگیرم
Thank you so much. Yes.
So, do we have another?
Yes, the last one.
وطن باید بکشمش روز فکر نکنم چرا منو روندن ازش به زوره منتظر نشینم روزی برمیگردم شاید وقتی یاتی سر منو گفتن تو عبدت بسوز اینجا غریبه ها جوون‌تر از زندگی من فقط نگاه میکنم که کیکو شبیهشون نشه من حرف میزنم باتون باید بشنوی من شاید مخالفی شاید باشیم شبیه هم وطن بدون عشق آزادی مشتعل خاکه وطن یعنی همونجا که تن آزاده همونجا که میشه ستاره شد بانون همونجا که میشه روی آب واقع وقتی من سینه خیز میرم سمت میدونه یا میمیرم یا میشم شبیه یه بزل پیر باید سرزمینی بسازی با آدمای دورت باید دیوارا رو برداریم تو برسیم به صورت هر بابا با هم بنازیم توف تم بده به فهمیدن به ادعا تا جنگیدن تم بده به تغییر به اشتباه جا ترسیدن من نه دردم نه دست من نه دوای درموندگیمون نه یه زنجیر و نه یه سلو نه راهی که گم بشی توش من یه فصلی از تجربم مثل تو پر بوز پیرم نه برندم و نه یه ناچار نه قهرمان تو میشم خستم از سرچی دغدغه است و من کی پی زندگیشم چرا خاک من باید جایی باشه که اقدام ریشه میدن من یه دنیا رو خونه دارم اگه این زمین سهم کی هست وقتی حتی این مرز و قد کشی ها برام شکل میله است زمانی که آدما تو منطقه سبز زمین دنبال اینن چه جوری بگیرن یه جشن از این میونه مرزشون پی سرپناه میره اونا میدونستن جنگ که بشه تلفات میدن مردمان نادومن و بیرون تو این بارون تنها گذاشتن نبینن چیمون تو جیبامون مشتی خاطرات که دیگه بایگانی شدن از شما ناامید از جه پایمالی شدن ناامید از صلح و پرچم سفید دوشش جنگ مال شما دل من تازه یاد خونشه دوست داشتم این کتابو تا ابد ببندم ولی دست من نیست وقتی دنیا آخرای جونش غریبی تو خونه تو یه غریبه تو خونه ها عاقبت این بر زمین سم موچا من کجا برم که اونجا خونشه عمر من تو لحظه خط خطی یه گونه هاست وطن باید بکشمش روز
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
It's 2 wonderful days, but most of all, thank you to the last round of applause, please. I'm not hesitating when saying that you've had, or we've had, 2 fantastic, and some of you 3 fantastic days. 3 fantastic days with new knowledge, networks, colleagues, and I hope also some friends. Because friends are important in troubled times, and we are really in troubled times. But I don't know if you feel it or if you thought about it, but when coming in now, I think it's 10 degrees warmer than yesterday morning. And that's thanks to all of the thoughts that you've been putting into this room, but also all of the motion and all of the energy. Thank you for everything. Thank you for excellent days. You have discussed, or rather we have discussed, all relevant, difficult, challenging, and difficult topics. And to some of them you have found solutions, to others you are still seeking together with your new friends, colleagues, and networks. Thank you again to all of you for being here. Thank you all for making this year's SIF happen. We were in real life, we met in real life, and I hope that you will continue meet in real life. I hope that you will continue meet also online, and that the online space will be a safe space for all of us to meet. I would like to extend some thanks. That is my sole task at this end of the 2 days. I would like to thank all of you, our partners, in simply coming here and turning up and participating and putting energy into these days. Our brilliant, to say the least, moderator, Jack, stand up. And Henriette, are you still here? Henriette, are you here? I can't, yeah, there you are. Applause also to you. Thank you very much. Thank you to our colleagues from Strandberg Hage, from Springconf, and Amex GBT for your efforts. Thank you to this place, the Münchenbryggeriet, for hosting us. It's a beautiful place and a very practical place to be in. Thank you to all of my colleagues, the SIDA colleagues, for making this happen. We always discuss every second year, I should be honest in saying, is it really possible to do it once again? And it was, with as great a quality, so thank you very much for that. But the biggest thank you is to all of you, all of the participants, to all of us rather, for being here, for making this possible, for putting one of the next puzzles in the big puzzle that will actually make the world a better place. Thank you all for being here. Now, travel safely. Thank you, and then I close CIF 2023. Thank you.